Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Quarter Life Chronicles with me, Imani. So, today you can see by the title, we're going to talk about life after graduation. And with graduation, I mean graduating from college or university, basically the time where the real adult world starts. And since I already have quite some experience with that, I thought it would be very nice to dedicate an episode on that. So yeah, in this episode I'll basically going to be talking about my journey and how I um basically am currently navigating through life since I'm currently doing a second bachelor's and I hope to graduate this year, fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm going to grab my iPad because my notes are on there and I actually already lit a candle because I was scared I was gonna struggle on camera. So if you're watching this on Spotify video or on YouTube, I have a candle right now just to set the vibe. And as you guys can see, the setting is also different. I decided to sit at my desk instead of on my bed, which I usually do. And I think the background is also very nice. So I think I'm just going to record my episodes like this from now on. I'm going to start with some affirmations. I found some dream life affirmations on Pinterest because I thought it would be very fitting for this episode. So, yeah, and by the way, I got my hair cut. If you're watching, you can see I cut my hair like very short, like we're very short again, but I like it. So, yeah, 10 affirmations for aligning with your dream life. I am on my way to creating a life wilder than my wildest dreams. Every day, I align more and more with my higher self. What is desired by me is destined for me. I am worthy and deserving of everything I desire. What I desire most desires me. I am becoming an energetic match to all of my desires. I have the power to manifest in my dreams. To manifest my dreams, sorry. I am divinely guided on the path to my highest good. I am powerful AF co creator of my reality. I trust the universe to support me in creating my desires. So, those were the affirmations. I'm just going to put down my iPad for a second. So, I'm going to start this episode with another insight with Imani that was requested on my Instagram. So, someone said, I'm trying to find balance and routines in my 9 to 5 life, but it is so hard. Any tips? So, I think that would be very nice to start off this episode with. Yeah, I'm basically just going to talk about everything in a order that can make sense whilst I also navigate this topic or this question they asked. So first I actually want to start off with some tips on finding your career path post graduation. So I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, we already had to decide very early on what we wanted to do after high school. I also talk about it a little bit on why I chose to do social work. Because for those who don't know, Korean studies is not my first bachelor's. It's actually social work. But yeah, it very sounds quite easy to say, but it's actually, you have to find something that you like and make sure that you're doing it for yourself and not because someone else expects you to do it. Don't choose a post high school studies just because your parents would like to see you become a lawyer or a doctor or anything. Just do what you like. And I actually talked about this in my second episode as well, called Family Affairs, on school stuff and how parents can have quite a opinion on it. And I think many other people can relate to that as well, that your parents have such high expectations of what you do and they get very disappointed if you don't follow the path they decided in your head to follow, if that makes sense. So basically choose something because you like it and do it for yourself. So, and it can definitely be scary since, yeah, I also tend to be quite afraid of the unknown. Yeah, it can be quite scary to make a step like that. But yeah, so basically just go into it, and whilst you're like in there, so whilst you actually like started doing college or uni in the direction you chose to, check for yourself if you're liking it. Yeah, and if you don't end up liking it because it's either too hard or it's not what you imagined, it is okay to like switch. I'll also talk about that a bit more later. Yeah, I really feel like social media can play a role in this as well, because right now everything is online. Everyone shares what they're doing online, including their post-secondary education. So you can sometimes see that people are becoming like successful like entrepreneurs or like lawyers or like basically like anything. And obviously people share that, like who didn't share like their graduation pictures like on social media, like I did, for example. Yeah, and sometimes those people really look like successful, and what sometimes people also really want to find in their post secondary like um, education and career is that they do want something that they think, oh, that's going to make a lot of money. For me personally, it really doesn't matter how much money you make with whatever you decide to pursue, as long as you're happy with it. Because I've seen so many people decide on certain jobs because they were like, oh, I heard it makes a lot of money. Sometimes when I told people that I studied social work, they were like, oh, but that doesn't earn quite a lot of money. And I'm like, who cares, like it's something I like. So yeah, it doesn't matter how much money you make, as long as you're happy with where you are and what you're doing, basically. So I'm now actually going to talk about my journey on why I chose to do social work and my life after I graduated from social work. So it is very funny because when I was in, I think, eighth or ninth grade in high school, which is like second or third year, like in the Netherlands, I actually sort of already knew that I wanted to do social work. Like, it's so weird because I was just basically at high school for like as part of our presentations in homeroom or like tutor class, like for the Dutchies. Like, we basically had to make a presentation and we actually already had to tell on what we wanted to study like after graduating high school. Looking back, I personally found that it was very, very early for us to already like decide that, because we were 13 at the time, 13, 14 years old. So I was just whatever, just looking around. And then I stumbled upon social work and like helping people and stuff like that. And I don't know, for some reason it just really clicked with me. Like, and I also wasn't really interested in doing like sciences or like biology or like economics is like my worst subject, one of the worst subjects in high school. So basically, it was already pretty filtered for me easily on what I wanted to do. So that was social work. And so I just followed through high school, graduated, and then I started doing social work in college. Basically, it's like the University of Applied Sciences. Yeah, so I went to college, did social work, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. Sometimes it was definitely hard, but I knew that I was like at my place. Like, I actually enjoyed it. I had motivation to do it and like study, because back then I really didn't see myself doing anything else. So, and yeah, life after graduating social work, it was first of all not easy to find a job after graduation, because actually it took me a year to get my social work job. Like because I actually stayed, like I was constantly applying for jobs, but it's just so difficult if you don't have any experience. So yeah, basically I just kept applying, constantly kept getting rejected because I just didn't have a lot of experience. Like, I did like do an internship, but some companies really don't count internship as an experience, which is actually that I'm like, why don't you count this experience? And then actually ended up getting a job at my old internship. So that was actually very, very nice. And I was still like making money in the year that after graduating, because I was still working at the drugstore that I was working at whilst I was still in college. So yeah, I stayed there, still made my money, and then I quit to do my social work job. And I did that in a total of 2 years. For long story short, I was basically working at a community college, like in Dutch we call it like MBO. So I was basically working like at an MBO school, and I was basically doing house visits at students who were like absent in classes too much, like just to see like basically like out of concern from the school. So like, hey, what is going on? How come you're not at school? And what can we do to get you like back at school? So basically, I just went to their houses, talked with the students or with their families, or you would probably think that wasn't that scary, but I actually liked it for some reason. Like you could never tell what you could expect. So I actually really enjoyed doing that. But I was really, really interested in doing Korean studies. So after 2 years, I quit to go to university to do Korean studies, and I don't regret it at all. Like it's the thing with social work. Like I can always go back. Like I have a degree. Did end up doing some experience. I also got registered in the youth workers registration. Yeah, but the person was basically asking on how to like balance their 9 to 5 life. So I always say this in almost all my videos, but it's all about planning, and organizing your life. Like for me personally, when I start making a planning, I obviously first of all check my work schedule. Obviously, my life is different now since I'm in university, but if I base it on my former 9 to 5 life, I for me, like I had a pretty hybrid job, so I was also like able to start up from home and like work from home, but I was also at the office sometimes. So I was just basically planning my days like, okay, when am I starting up from home? When am I starting up from the office? Do I have certain meetings that I have to attend in the morning? So I basically check how my day looks like, or how I'm like basically organizing my day. And that's basically how I plan my life around. So, and also for me, having a morning routine is like very, very important. Obviously, when you're having a 9 to 5, you cannot have a very extensive morning routine. Like right now, I can have an extensive morning routine because, like, not every day, obviously, but since I'm at uni and like I sometimes, and like with my current job that I have, um, I can sometimes start in the afternoon, and then so then I can have a more extensive morning routine, or on days where I don't have to work or go to uni, or for example on the weekends, I can have an extensive morning routine. But on the days where I have to start at 9, it obviously has to be shorter. So you basically have to like, what I would do is like make a morning routine like on your days where you can afford to have an extensive one, and on the days where you cannot have an extensive one, just like try to implement the morning routine in a much shorter version. And like you can look up like inspiration on social media on how people do it, but I wouldn't do it too much because obviously those influencers who create their morning routines, they're always so excessive. Like they work out, have their avocado toast, and like, because they have time to do it since they are like influencers, like they have time to do it. But obviously, unless you want to get up at 4 a.m., you cannot go uh, to the gym and do all of that extensive morning routine if you have to be at the office at 9. So what I did when I was like still having my 9 to 5, I was actually able to go to the gym in the mornings if I started up from home because my gym was quite close. So then I would go to the gym between 7 and 8, and then go home, shower, and then start up at 9. And that was basically like my morning routine. And I would have my breakfast after, or like whilst I was starting up. So yeah, that's basically what worked for me. But right now, that doesn't really work for me anymore. So I only do that on the days where I actually have time to do it extensively instead of rushing. And I really feel like a morning can really make or break your day. So make sure to have a well rested morning, and not where you're like rush to do everything. Because I really feel like if my morning is what didn't go that great, it can really affect my mood for the rest of the day. But if you do want to implement something like a workout or something like that, like if it helps to, if you can afford it to do it after work, then you can also do that. Like sometimes I just also do that to go after work instead. If you still really want to have like that part, if you still want to make a workout like part of your day, those are just all like examples. So I'm not saying that you have to work out, but that's just something I just a example. I can really imagine that it can be very difficult to balance life with everything, like with school, work, and also social life. Like, also with my social life, I really plan around it. I always plan my weeks like in advance. Like once I have my work schedule, I really plan out my weeks. Like what am I going to do? And also right now, since I'm still at uni, I have to plan on when am I writing my thesis because I'm currently in the progress of writing my thesis, and with social life, I'm really like, okay, when do I have time to meet up a friend if I wanted to, or if my friends would ask me when I was free to hang out. Yeah, but also really make sure that you also block like out time so to fully rest. Like I really noticed that if I was planning my life very too busy, like too many things at the same time, it would really like burn me out. So I also really made sure to have like moments where I was just fully resting and not doing anything. So even if someone would ask me if I was free, I would say no because I was like, I want to rest. I'm tired. So, and I also want to talk about if you're still like me right now, I'm 27, about to graduate university this year, like for my second bachelor's, and I'm still like sort of navigating on what I want to do. And I want to talk about this because so many people, especially people my age, sometimes struggle with that they feel like they're like late and they haven't figured out their life yet. But to be honest, it is very okay. Like, there are sometimes people who don't know what they want to do in life until they're like in their 30s or in their 40s. I just want to say, like, whether you're my age or when you're if you're younger, wherever you are in life, whether you're still in high school, still in college or uni, or wherever you are in life, it is okay if you have not fully written out your life, that if that makes sense. So right now I'm still like contemplating, am I going to work at a Korean company, or am I going to Korea after graduation, or am I going back into the social work field? Like I'm still navigating through a lot, and that's totally fine. And if one thing doesn't work out, like for example, you applied for this job and you got it, but then in the first 2 weeks you find out that you hate it is okay to switch. Like, it doesn't make you a failure. We all navigate through life, and it's all about trial and error. Like, it doesn't have to go perfectly. So, yeah, I hope that's a sort of like, I wanted to give this little pep talk in case you needed it. So, and yeah, failing can happen too, and that is okay as long as you just like get back up and like continue, even though it is hard. And if you are very, very struggling to go like to navigate in life, also make sure that like whatever you're struggling with is also something that you're working on, whether it's like with therapy or like anything else. Like, I really feel like it's also part of that because I really feel like once you leave like the school life or the uni life, you really like discover yourself and you get thrown into the adult world like, hey, here is the adult world, good luck. So yeah. And also what I really want to say is, even though it's easier said than done, don't look at other people and compare yourself because everyone had different journeys. Like for example, that one successful person that you see on social media maybe went through so many like fallbacks and like obstacles to get where they are now. And yeah, nothing comes easy. We all have to work hard for it. So yeah, I am basically going to end this podcast here because I feel like I've already said a lot really on this topic. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, whether you were listening to it or watching it on Spotify video or on YouTube. And I'll see you guys very soon in a new episode. So enjoy your day or evening or whenever you're listening to this. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.